Hey guys, this is Matt.
And it's Jordan!
And welcome back to another episode of Couch Pillow Talk.
I forgot what the name was for a second.
Nah.
What's this, episode 7 or something?
Yeah.
We've been doing this for over a month.
Yeah.
This is insane.
We've got episode 7, it's almost 2 months, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost 2 months.
Wow. Smart and diligent.
Wait, did we start in March?
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
wasn't really paying attention.
Anyway, we've got topics to talk about.
Topics! Yeah, we actually
As
have
we
some
tend to
things
do on this show.
written down sometimes.
Yeah,
This time
sometimes we
I'm
write
not
stuff
to say.
down. Alright, so the very first, we just go in order like we usually do.
Yes.
We don't want to save that for the end or
You
anything.
don't have to ask me every time.
Maybe I should ask you off mic anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, so the first thing we got is VR. I had some new ideas, Matt had some ideas,
Yeah.
and it brought up some stuff about
VR
concerns. So we're going to talk about these ideas. Do you want to... Well, your idea came after my idea,
yeah.
didn't it?
Yeah.
So my idea, because I saw this thing where you could get notifications from your phone in VR, so you could sync it up so it'd come up with stuff. I had a cool idea that the lighthouse, you'd be able to get an app that networks your phone to the Vive, and then it tracks where your phone is with the lighthouses that track your movements, and you keep your phone right nearby, obviously. And then when it rings, the app can read the screen and transmit it to VR, and like the VR will then render a 3D phone that you can pick up and look at, and it'll be your phone that you're picking up and looking at, and then you can answer it there, or like see if it's someone you want to talk to and like ignore it. And it'll save you from, taking off your headset and leaving VR, which is something really nice. I'm going to pop this can open.
Oh. Nice. That's a satisfying sound.
Pop your can.
Yeah, so thank you, Sarah. After Jordan told me that idea, my idea sprung out of that, and I was like, it would be really cool to have like a social network thing, a VR social network. You know, like Second Life and all that sort of thing. How you just go into a place, you make your avatar, and then just walk around and talk to people and whatever. But then, like, because it would track you, and like you'd see from the first person, and you'd have your avatar, and you could move your hands, and there could be like ping pong tables and stuff set up, so you could like hang out with mates online. And then they'd have to do it so that, like, I mean, if I did it, my demographic would be like people with like social anxiety that don't like going out that much, but still want to hang out with friends or whatever.
Yeah.
Less stressful environment. Or people in remote communities who, I mean, like, if they still live in, I don't know, or, long distance friends and that, if they want to hang out and play a game, like, actually, like, play some pool or bowling or whatever, do some cool stuff.
But
I reckon it'd be really cool, and then just, like, have a mic on,
these ideas were cool and all, but they instantly raised some concerns. My worry was that with Matt's idea, and I guess partially my idea as well, you wouldn't be coming out of VR very often.
Yeah.
And there's already the concern of like being stuck in there and like not leaving because you're enjoying the games too much. And to have like a place where you can meet up with friends and hang out. How often would you really leave the house? If you didn't have to leave the house to come over and see me, we could just see each other in VR.
I guess the same thing kind of happened though when we made the switch from like arcades to house consoles. Like,
and then after that, when like networking became a thing and you could just play online with your friends.
There would have been like the exact same concerns going on. But like, we still hang out and we still go out. We play games and that.
That's because...
Even if we can, you and me can play online, but we prefer to hang out.
That's because sometimes online's still not super convenient. You can have like network dropouts, and it's just fun to be in the same room. Because that way, if like we're playing a competitive game and I get really angry at you, I can just bury the controller in your skull.
Well, I get like... Again, the demographic that I would aim it at is the kind of people that aren't really going to go out to their friends' houses anyway. So it's just like another social situation for them.
I can see VR being used as a tool for things.
Yeah.
See how people have like engineers and stuff have like a CAD program they use?
Yeah.
I could see it coming in handy for stuff like that.
I would love that, man. I would freaking spend out. I would build a damn car.
Universities and stuff should be getting
sick.
onto VR and investing in it because it could be a really good tool for their students.
It'd probably be good for like therapy and stuff too, like physiotherapy and probably like if someone worked it right, mental therapy. Is that regular therapy? I don't know what they call it.
I don't know.
Psychotherapy.
That's it. I don't know. I could see it having many uses, and the only thing I'm just concerned about how much of our life it'll change, and like making sure that people don't become just mindless drones. Because old mate Elon Musk is always concerned about these sorts of things. Like he thinks making AI too good will result in like Terminators.
Yeah.
And he's a smart man as well, so when he says something like that, I'm kind of like, should we be worried about this sort of stuff, or I don't know. But
I think it'll be fine. Like,
I think people are more strong-willed than we give them credit for. They can regulate themselves.
Yeah. And
having said that, though, there's people that are like, oh, playing video games is a waste of time, and then they watch TV for like 10 hours a day, and you're like, how is that any less a waste of a time?
Yeah, but like, as long as, I don't know, I think there should be age restrictions as well. I don't think that kids should be doing it.
Oh, for sure. Or with like moderation from like parents and stuff. Yeah.
But like those online forums could end up pretty damn weird, like because people will have control of their own hands and be doing some weird stuff. So you know, there's no way to really monitor that because unless you had like an actual monitor watching everyone at all times in like every forum.
Yeah, I feel like if this does become a thing, there'll definitely be like moderators and stuff.
Yeah,
and there'll be ways to control it. They have to think ahead to make sure it doesn't become so enticing that it's like you never want to leave.
It always annoys me when like parents buy their kids games that are like age restricted, and then they complain that their kids are getting aggressive.
Oh, for sure, like
all that crap.
I can understand like maybe
know what this is.
Maybe buying your kid an MA game because you know you might think it's not too bad for them.
Yeah,
like I got some MA games when I was younger.
Call of Duty or something, it's not that bad. Like I mean, like people swearing online and stuff's like a bit, you know. Don't really want your kids exposed to that, but it's not really a problem. You can avoid it by just muting everyone.
Like, yeah, I got MA games when I was younger, and it didn't affect me, but I also didn't, like, let it affect me. I didn't, like, be like, oh, I'm going to go replicate this sort of stuff. It's like, it's just a matter of knowing what your kid is going to be able to handle.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only point of the rating. It's not being like, oh, they're under 15, absolutely don't buy it for them. Yeah. It's like, just figure out what your kid can handle, and then give it to them. If they can't handle it, don't give it to them. They can play it when they get older.
As far as I'm concerned, everything is PG, technically.
Yeah. Everything is PG with a splash of something that might be a bit worse.
But like, no, I mean like...
Oh, you mean like the
everything's fine with
parental guidance. Ah, okay.
You know?
Yeah,
unless you're a crap parent.
Moderation is the most important thing.
I'm not even going to say sorry to all the crap parents out there. You should just not...
Yeah, because... I know of some kids that were getting affected by violent games, so they were not allowed to play them anymore, which is the smart thing to do. And then once they like got a bit older and learnt that that's not cool, then they're allowed to play them again. And that's the right way to do things, is to be like, you know, if you're seeing signs that it's affecting them negatively, don't let them play it anymore.
Well, Tim used to get really annoyed, like when he used to play like Mario Kart and stuff.
Yeah, you can get
and like because he'd just get frustrated. And I'd like be sitting in the room watching him, and he wouldn't come first, and he'd just go, freaking hell, man.
Max had to look at you like, what is that noise?
He just got like so angry, and like, so like it's not even like what's in the video game; it's how it's taken as well.
Yeah,
so it's back to the moderation.
It's always different between people.
Yeah,
like what was it, Mortal Kombat: Deadly Alliance?
Yeah,
the Conquest Mode consisted of playing every character and learning everything about them.
Yeah. And
there were some really hard things in there where you had to do like attacks and then it would chain into... You remember that was the one where it had like the different fighting styles that you could switch through?
Yeah.
There were chain attacks that you had to move through every fighting style and keep the combo going. Oh, that made me so angry when I did that. Yeah. But it wasn't because it was Mortal Kombat and it was like an MA game and like it affected me badly. It was just... The game made me mad.
Yeah.
Any game could do it. Like Ratchet and Clank was making me mad because I had to do the hoverboard race and get a minute 35. And no matter what I did, I couldn't beat a minute 37. Yeah. Every time I got a minute 37, I was so angry.
That's like Sarah got super annoyed at Unravel. Unravel is definitely not...
Unravel is such a chill game, but...
But yeah, just the frustration of...
She's giving us bad looks.
Just the frustration.
It is a hard game though, Sarah. We accept
when
that.
you're doing all you can to... make it work, and
it's a chill game, but it's got some very big challenges.
Your best isn't good enough.
I think that about does it though.
Yeah,
we went from VR to just talk about games in general there.
That's alright.
But I think the general idea is just moderate what you're doing. When you get your own VR headset and you have like your Second Life stuff, just don't stay in there for like 20 hours. 20. Take breaks. If you go out to take get out of VR, take a leak, and you realise like you've been in there for way too long, just turn it off.
Yeah. Yeah, self-moderation is a thing that people don't really have a lot of these days. So, are you laughing at Connor? And, yeah, it's just one of those things.
It's just one of those things.
It's healthy for you, isn't it?
So we'll move on because we've got actually quite a few topics to get through now that I'm looking at them. I just wrote them down because we have many topics, but we've got a lot. So moving on, there's a new trend. I don't know. I can't think of anything else that's really done it recently, but there's probably other examples. But the two main examples lately, old games being reimagined with a similar story, but enough to make it different to be a new game with like new fancy graphics and stuff. Yeah. Ratchet and Clank and Star Fox Zero are the two recent ones that came out.
Yeah.
And I've been playing a lot of Ratchet and Clank. I played a lot of the old ones, and this one is so good.
So good.
We'll probably play it on the show.
Yeah.
But
I want to. Jordan's already played through it like 3 times.
Yeah, I've already beaten it 3 times.
But I want to play.
And I'm close to getting all the trophies because I'm a trophy hunter. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'll make Matt play it on the show. Yeah. And if he gets stuck on anything hard, I can do it for him. Yeah. But I don't know. What do you? I already know what you think about it, but the idea of taking the old game and instead of just releasing it with better graphics, instead changing it and making it something new.
I prefer it because the old fans have grown up. It's not the same demographic as like that you originally aimed it at. Well, I mean, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't also.
The thing is, this is tailored in 2 ways. I'm pointing at the screen because Sarah's playing Ratchet and Clank. It's tailored in 2 different ways to appeal to 2 different demographics.
Yeah.
So it's still the same people that grew up playing it, but at the same time, there's the movie that's coming out, and it's still tailored towards younger people.
It's just kind of making it more relevant to today. Sarah, you can't collect that.
You got FOMO. There's a part in it that actually does make it relevant to today. Somebody says hashtag.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, I didn't know how to feel. I was like, oh, that makes it relevant. But I was just sitting there going,
it kind of dates.
Oh, so cringe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I do very much enjoy this game, though. And I'm... I don't know which I prefer more, though, because I do like that they've changed it and they've added stuff to make it new. But at the same time, if they took Metal Gear Solid 2 and changed a bunch of stuff, I probably wouldn't be happy with it.
Do you remember that video of the guy that gave like all those suggestions of how Sega messed up Sonic and how
that you showed me?
I think that sort of thing is good. Like
rebooting is good, yeah.
Yeah. Doing the same thing again that used to work isn't going to work again.
Well, no, sometimes it does, but as we can see with Sonic, it doesn't.
Yeah, because it's not like they're revisiting the first idea. They just stayed on the same idea.
Oh, they sort of did with that.
They deviated, but like in a bad way.
With that Generations game, they sort of did like a reimagining because they had like a level from every Sonic game. So it was like 2D Sonics and 3D Sonics, but they just need to like revitalize it and.
Yeah.
If they took that guy's ideas and made it a game, I think I'd be very happy with it.
Oh yeah.
And he had some very good game designing.
I think he is working on a game.
Ideas, so he seemed very clued in to the whole idea.
He's doing a game channel now too.
Sweet, we should
have
him on the show.
Yeah. That's it.
But no, I think if they were to take Metal Gear Solid 2 and just make it look really tip top graphics, and maybe like improve stuff like not being able to crouch and walk.
Yeah.
If they could make it so you could crouch and walk, and then balance it so that doesn't make the game super easy.
Yeah.
Like, it's a tool you can use to sneak around better, and there's stuff to counteract that, so it makes it balanced.
Yeah.
Because, did you ever play Twin Snakes?
No.
So, those who don't know, Twin Snakes was a remake of MGS1 that came out for GameCube. And the only way you can play it these days, really, is to get it on Wii, because it plays GameCube games, and then get, like, a memory card and stuff. But they broke it because they kept all the environments the same, and all, like, the guards and stuff were the same, but they added the first-person camera.
Yeah.
So instead of being stuck with this perspective that MGS1 was designed around, you could now look around in first person, and it made it really easy to like plot out your path and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you could just see everything, and also aim at everything and shoot it.
Yeah.
And the other problem with it as well is they changed a bunch of story stuff. Like they made this really weird thing where like Snake does some weird action movie stuff, and like a missile fires at him, and he jumps on it, and then backflips off the missile, and it's super like anime and weird.
Is he Vamp?
Huh?
Is he Vamp?
Yeah, pretty much. And it just wasn't... And there was like some translation stuff they did differently, and it ruined it.
Yeah.
So... But then again, if they'd taken that and actually tried to reimagine it, as opposed to what they did, I guess it could have worked. I don't know. I just think there's times when it would work and times when it wouldn't.
Yeah.
And it worked pretty well for Ratchet and Clank.
I think listening to the fans is important with that sort of thing.
It hasn't worked well for Star Fox, but that's because Star Fox has really bad motion controls.
Yeah, why? Why?
Well, when they re-released it for the 3DS, the original, not the original, the 64 one, because there was one before that. I don't know why I keep saying the original, but when they re-released it for 3DS, they had normal controls and gyro controls where you could move the DS around to control it, and you could switch between them. And of course, I went normal controls because that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But with this new one, apparently the way they've designed it is you need motion controls to get the full experience. And so if you could turn it off, it would ruin it.
I think that's silly. Oh my goodness, how much fun would it be in the Vive if you could like be inside the cockpit?
Oh my goodness, yes, that'd be the greatest.
That'd be sick.
I would love it. Seeing as we're talking about Star Fox, I'm going to bump up this topic I wrote all the way down there. So, in preparation for the 2 new games they had come out, which was Star Fox Zero and some weird one called Guard, they did an anime, a very short anime film that was, what was it, about 15 minutes, I think?
Yeah.
It was 15 minutes and it was an intro to like the new Star Fox. And it looked so good and it was so nostalgic, like all the music was good.
Yeah.
And like, and it even had like the little chat bubbles when they talked to each other. It was brilliant. But as of right now, there's no plans to make it a full thing. And that makes me mad.
Yeah, they definitely should.
I would really like a Star Fox anime because, well, getting back towards the Ratchet and Clank thing, they're doing the integrated movie thing.
Yeah.
So that's why the game came out. And that's why they did the Star Fox animes, because it's integrated with the game. But they could make it a whole thing. And like every episode could be like a new planet. Just like in the game when they go to new planets. And it would be really good.
Yeah.
And it could be for people that can't really get the game. They can watch the anime and get a different experience, but still Star Fox.
Yeah, and the fact that they're doing the movie for Ratchet and Clank, like, it didn't really interest me that much at first, but like now that they did the game and made the parallels between it, I'm like,
I want to see the movie.
Yeah, that seems sick.
If it's because it's going to be the same, it's going to be the game, but it's going to be done differently.
Yeah.
It's a pretty short movie though. I looked at the runtime; it's about an hour and a half.
It's still average movie length.
I know, but no, these days the average movie length is 2 hours plus.
Yeah.
So an hour and a half is like, to me, that's like nothing. Yeah. Like to go to the movies to watch something for an hour and a half, I'm like, that doesn't seem worth it. Mm. But then again, it's Ratchet and Clank, so I'd probably go and see it, and it'd be really good.
Yeah.
But we strayed away from the topic again. I would really like to see more cool anime stuff because I don't really watch much anime.
Yeah.
I only ever watched Death Note and a bit of Fullmetal Alchemist. Now I watch a bit more. I watched Kill la Kill, and that was awesome. But I think Nintendo could make a really good Star Fox anime. And really start to branch out onto that market, and like start to bring forward an idea of like companies can do more than just video games.
Because like they used to have the Sonic cartoon, the Mario one, and that, and they were horrible, but they were pretty good for the time. And a lot of people watched them.
Yeah,
and they had a Zelda one.
Did they?
Yeah, they do ads for it in the Mario one for some reason.
Was that one that also became that crappy Philips CDI game? Or games?
Maybe.
I think it is.
That was terrible.
Because the cartoon graphics seem to... Or the cartoon cutscenes seem to belong to the show.
I just love the ads for it, because like, all the ads I've seen for it are like in the middle of the DVDs of the Mario one.
Yeah.
And in like every single one of the ads, it's got a clip of Link saying, "Well, excuse me, princess." It's just so douchey, it's great.
Yeah. Because the reason I want to see Nintendo branch out a bit more is because that's what Kojima wants to do with Kojima Productions. He wants to be able to make like animated films and stuff like that and do more than just games. Yeah. And I feel like there's so many people that could do more than just games. Like Valve didn't really do anything else anymore, but they had games and they did Steam and they had those sort of projects running. And then they got Steam VR running as well, so they got stuff going. But I don't know. Companies it seems like they restrict themselves too much, and they could have multiple divisions doing stuff and really make some cool stuff and with some creative minds. Yeah. And I'd like to see that, especially because the Star Fox short that they showed was so good.
Do you reckon people got scared when they did like the Mortal Kombat movie and that? Like, oh, no, we should never do that again.
And never ever try that again.
Most games based on movies are pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Van Helsing game was good. It was really hard.
I like the Van Helsing game.
From what I remember, but it was good.
You know, many people don't like the Van Helsing movie.
I don't get that. That's great.
Neither. Oh, I got the burps because I started drinking my Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
Anyway, I think that sort of does it again.
Yeah.
Star Fox anime.
That takes us on to the...
We branch off too much
next topic,
what we're talking about. What? This one?
You wanted to talk about what movies would make good games or games would make
Oh, yeah,
good
we can talk about that.
Because it's pretty relevant.
Alright, well, I found this article, 8 movies that would make great games. I didn't even read it in the end, I just took it straight away.
Yeah.
But Nat and I have got ideas for stuff that we think would make good games, so I'm going to read out this list and, you guys can make up your own minds. And then we'll tell you...
quickly, the Matrix game was pretty awesome too. Path of Neo.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah.
I want to play that again. They should re-release it on PS4. God damn. Anyway, alright, so this list. The first one's Monty Python and the Holy Grail as a video game. See the description here, it says like an open world RPG style Monty Python. I'd like
I
RPG.
don't think they could capture the humor.
Neither, but if they were to make it, it could be RPG, but I don't think it should be open world.
Yeah.
Because to leave you to go and find all this stuff on your own to try and like recreate Monty Python and the Holy Grail, I don't think it would work very well. But I don't think a game would work very well at all. But the article says it would. Obviously, the article's right, Matt.
Clearly.
Smokey and the Bandit.
No.
Don't even know what that is.
Neither do I. I've
But
heard the name, but
don't even know what these are.
what are these movies?
I don't know. The thumbnail had Kill Bill. I'm assuming that's in it.
interesting.
Gran Torino, maybe. I think I saw that movie and it was pretty good, but I don't know how you can expand on the idea that was in the movie and make it a game. Do you just have to sit there and guard your lawn with your World War One era rifle? Annie Hall. Oh, another thing as well. Some of these games could be Telltale games as well, which are very story driven. So you never know. There we go, Kill Bill. I always thought Kill Bill would make a really sick game because of all the choreographed fight scenes and just it's a sword game. Sword games are fun. I was actually thinking about this before the podcast. I think Platinum would make a really good Kill Bill game because look what they did with Rising. I think it'd be not exactly the same, but similar to that, where you sort of run around freely and you're slicing through people and like doing like parries and stuff. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
But at the same time, I don't know if I'd like the idea of that coming out and then ruining the movie because it doesn't stand up to it.
Yeah.
This idea says any Chaplin movie.
Oh.
The Dirty Dozen. That's a good idea because that's like a military sort of thing. So that's not too bad.
Maybe like Total Recall or something like that.
Yeah, so now we can talk about ideas that we think would be good for movies. I had a bunch, but I can't remember what they are now.
Do they make Terminator games?
Yes.
Are they crap?
There was some on like NES and SNES and stuff like that. I remember there was one on PS1 that I played. It's not good. It was very hard. Oh man, I could have sworn I had so many ideas, but now I'm drawing blanks. Did you have any that came to mind?
Not really, I don't even think about it. Do you remember what movies I've watched lately that were awesome?
I would like another Dredd game.
Yeah?
Because there's a new Dredd movie and like Judge Dredd's fun.
Yeah.
And the old one was really hard, so they could bring it back and make it like a bit easier, but also
Daredevil.
Still sort of hard. Yeah, Daredevil. I can see
But like, if they made it, I was thinking. Pretty much like every time I think of like a new game to make, it's going straight to the Vive now. Hey, and like I just imagine like
a Daredevil game where you have to like make noise.
Yeah, like actually like there was a game like that had like the sound, like everything that made sound like.
There's actually been a couple of games that do echolocation.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of one of them. Markiplier played it, but there was one that I saw called Dark Echo.
Yeah.
And it was like a top down, and it was just all black, and then it was like really color focused. Like it'd be white, and then enemies would be red, making red noise bubbles. That was pretty cool. But I don't think a Daredevil game based around echolocation would be cool.
You don't.
Well, because I think you want the focus more to be around combat.
Yeah.
And having to constantly try and find ways to make noise would be kind of weird.
No, you wouldn't have to make noise because everything would be making noise. If they made it like so that you could still see where everything was, it wasn't like super realistic graphics. It was just like I don't know, even grayscale or whatever. It would still work. It wouldn't be like, oh, this is crap. It's just you can see. You'd be like, well, you need to see to play the game. So it kind of justifies it.
I kind of like the idea of it having like normal graphics and you can see everything, but there'd be scenes where you see how Daredevil sees.
Yeah.
And like it would show that, and it wouldn't be that the whole game because that would become frustrating to look at, I think.
Yeah.
But to have it come to that and then away from that and just give you a snippet of it would be cool, as opposed to just subjecting you to it the whole time.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll come back to the idea, have a think about more movies that could be games.
Yeah.
I swear I had a bunch of good ideas, but I've lost them now. I'll write them down next time.
Yeah.
Alright, I might save this one for last. We'll go on towards the Inhumans movie.
Yep.
So, Marvel's had their little schedule of movies going. How far does it go up to now? Like 2020 something?
Yeah, something
like 2025. They've planned ahead really well, and now DC's planning ahead as well. And they had Inhumans in there, but they're moving stuff around. Like Spider-Man took the place of something else, and that got pushed back. Inhumans was 2018, and then 2019, and now it's not on the schedule at all.
Yeah.
And Matt's really disappointed about that.
It's
Matt, explain.
they've said it's still coming out, but they just had to like push it back or whatever. They're not cancelling it. And I am super keen for this movie because the Inhumans are like my favourite Marvel group. I love the concept, I love the characters. My favourite character in general, like in all of Marvel, is Black Bolt. And then his wife Medusa is sick, and then like all of them have really cool powers, and the story's really cool, and the way it deals with their world and how they differ from the mutants and from the Avengers and whatever. It's just really cool. And I'm super keen to see it. If they like decided to can the movie and make it a series, I would still be okay with that.
Yeah, I feel like they could make it a series. I would be keen to see Inhumans come about in some way because we've got the Avengers and everybody loves the Avengers now. But before Avengers came out, nobody really knew who Iron Man was. Yeah. Like, he was a comic book hero and people may have heard of him, but he wasn't popular.
Yeah.
And the other ones weren't really popular either. But Marvel wanted to take some properties and try and turn them into things. Now they've got the Avengers, which is like the biggest thing they have.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who the Avengers are now. So to take something like Inhumans and see what you could do with that.
Sorry. Yeah.
I think they should just go for it because it's not really a risk. They're Marvel. It's not like if they lose a bit of money, they're going to really cry about it. Yeah. They can make it back, and they're not going to lose fans. It's a risk they could take because it's an obscure superhero group, and they've done it before, like taking someone obscure and made them popular. So why not just give it a shot? That's my reasoning in that.
It's going to be awesome. I'm super keen for it. I love the story of it. Yeah, I just really hope it goes ahead, not too far in the future.
Yeah, I'm really hoping it's a thing because that'd be cool. It'd be cool to see some new Marvel stuff. Well, I guess they have got some new stuff in the works, like Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I'm keen for that too. I didn't read it, but I saw some article that, I don't know, something about it was super sexist or something. And it had a picture of, what's that lady's name?
I need more information.
She's in, have you seen Constantine?
Yes.
She plays the angel.
The angel.
She usually has like short hair. Oh, you didn't watch the trailer yet, did you?
No, I did not.
I don't know, whatever. She was like, when they were even like coming up to the movie, they were like, she was like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to play a man or a woman for it and whatever.
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, it said something about sexism. I was like, I cannot be bothered reading this right now.
I don't understand
because read it, but
she's always had like a very androgynous appearance and plays different roles like that. There she's there, yeah. I don't know why she's there. I think maybe because one of the things that's on the article talks about that movie she was in, which we'll talk about soon.
Jordan has a random article open and her face is
it just happens to be there after we're talking about her. You know, I don't understand. She could play any character like that. And Jared Leto played a transgender woman in Dallas Buyers Club. It's stuff that people can do. I don't see where all this sexism stuff's coming from.
I'm not sure if that's exactly what the article was about, but like,
it wouldn't surprise me. People can complain about anything these days.
Yeah.
And like, the fact that a woman who is confident in her appearance like that and can do either or is saying, I don't know what gender it'll be. Yeah. That obviously means she's cool with it. It's not something sexist.
Yeah.
Like what?
She wouldn't have taken the gig.
It's not that like, oh, we're going to make you play that guy. And she was like, I don't know. It's just like, no, yeah. She's probably really happy to try and do something like that. Because that seems to me like it's breaking down like some of the gender barriers.
She likes doing weird characters.
Oh, yeah.
And like...
Well, she's I imagine she's probably a really cool person, but she seems like a really strange person as well. Yeah. I'd like to talk to her and just see what's going on.
Yeah. If you want to go on the show.
Tilda Swinton, if you want to be on the show. One day someone's going to take us up on that.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Alright. So Matt wanted to talk about... This is one of Matt's topics. Ooh.
Here we go.
Jumanji. Yeah. They're doing a remake. That's about all I know. I've seen stuff about maybe possible casting ideas, but I never clicked it and read it, so I've got no idea. So Matt's going to be reading something out from his telephonic device.
So I'm not... The article's like worded super weird. And it's like...
I love it when that happens.
It says you won't believe who's replacing Robin Williams in the Jumanji remake. And then it tells you, and then it says, oh, they're thinking about actually casting this person as that.
Oh, so it's kind of like a bait and switch thing?
Yeah. But, believe it or not, the film, which will be released in 2017, will star The Rock.
Yeah, I think I saw...
What the heck?
An article about that.
How is that character even comparable? But then later on it says... It has yet to be confirmed who's playing who, but reports suggest that Kevin Hart will be joining Johnson in this epic adventure of a film. Some websites are reporting that Hart is being hired to play the trapped man-child.
Okay.
I don't want Kevin Hart to be him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like The Rock could probably do it. All right. I don't think Kevin Hart's comedy is the right kind of fit for it.
These are for characters to... What would you say The Rock's going to replace?
The main character, Robin Williams.
Character. Yeah. I don't know. I could see The Rock playing a character in it, but...
But I would rather The Rock play him. Because, like, if he's been grown up in the jungle his whole life and whatever, because he was, taken in to Jumanji,
yeah,
then it kind of makes sense that he'd be, like, heaps buff and whatever.
Sarah, do you want me to do this part for you? No? Okay.
And, but yeah, Kevin Hart, I'd just be like, stop.
Yeah.
Nothing against him. If he wants to come on the show, he can.
I haven't seen much of his stuff, but from what I have seen, it doesn't take my fancy.
Yeah.
I feel like we've talked about Kevin Hart before.
I think them as characters, or them as actors, is stupid for a kids movie. Like,
yeah. Oh, The Rock's done a bunch of kids movies though.
Like Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
No, Pacifier was Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
same person.
No, it's not.
Pretty much.
Vin Diesel is not in WWE.
Vin Diesel's sexier.
Yeah, I don't see the need for there to be a Jumanji remake at all.
Yeah.
But
Neither.
if they decide they want to
Imagine
do it, they can do it.
cast Dan Castellaneta.
That'd be great.
That'd be heaps funny.
I'd be okay with that. I don't know. I'll probably still watch it. I don't know that I like it, but there'll always be the original Jumanji anyway.
Yeah.
So
just watch
it's
that
not like
one.
it's going to ruin the original Jumanji. If it's
Yeah.
not a good movie, you can say, well, at least we have the original. So
Oh, the original one sucks because this one sucks.
yeah.
That'd be the worst if someone thought that.
Plenty of people probably will. Not saying anything wrong with you people, but
You're a good person.
anyway, I think we don't have much more to say about Jumanji, do we?
Nah.
Matt got really annoyed before we started, and that's why I wrote it down so you could talk about it.
I just hope they do it justice.
Yeah, that's the thing I'd want as well.
Keep on it.
But
You can jump onto it while you're holding that thing, by the way.
we just have to see what happens.
Yeah.
Alright, so I don't remember if we talked about this or not. Somebody's going to mention it now anyway, because it's not even a big topic, so if we did talk about it, it doesn't matter. But Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man movie, has got a name.
Yep.
The name that we talked about, because we talked about what the possible name was. I just don't know if we confirmed or not, but it's going to be Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
It's pretty sure it's for sure, unless Sony does like a switch and be like, heh,
Yeah.
tricked ya. But don't kill it. We just wanted to talk about, because we can't find the original Homecoming comic book
Yeah.
or what the storyline was, but I don't know, Matt, what sort of ideas would you like to see come about?
They're not doing an origin story. I want them to do something that I wouldn't mind it. I don't know, because it's coming after the Civil War, obviously, because that's coming out like this week. So if they're gonna go after or before, I'm not sure. I kind of want to see both, like what leads up to that point.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. Actually, I think we did talk briefly about this sort of stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing maybe a bit before and then more after.
Yeah.
Like seeing what Spidey has to deal with the repercussions of Civil War.
Yeah.
I just had a really good idea. So in the other Spider-Mans, the ones with Tobey Maguire, they show him like struggling to balance his life being Peter Parker as a student and then being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see more come to terms with the fact that he can never be the same. He's now Spider-Man pretty much.
Yeah. I think because he's younger, it, like the idea of him just like having fun would be more appropriate.
I do like to see. I would like to see him have like sort of like that goofy fun and like make the quips and stuff like he does in the comic books. But I would like to see him sort of come to terms with the fact, sort of like the Superman thing, where because everyone always goes, "Oh nah, they're Bruce Wayne," and their alter ego is Batman.
Yeah.
I sort of see it more as once they become a superhero, like especially Spider-Man, because it's like he's permanently like that now. They're stuck with that, so it's more they're now that, and the person that is their real identity that they go around with, that's their alter ego.
Yeah.
That's more of like the on the back burner because their superhero life dominates their life after that.
Yeah.
and it's weird for them to be like, nah, I'm Peter Parker, and sometimes I'm Spider-Man. It's no, you're now Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You're stuck being Spider-Man now, pretty much,
Yeah.
because there's no way he'd ever go, like, live in like isolation, not save people's lives. That's his life now, is to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, like just
So,
if you did get powers and you took on the responsibility of being a superhero and then just gave up, you'd feel like the worst person.
I'd kind of like to see a Peter Parker that's trying to come to terms with that, and even trying to come to terms with, like, can he have a relationship? Because, you know, there's always, like, Mary Jane and stuff on the scene.
Yeah.
I'd kind of like to see more of, like, does he think that's a possibility? And maybe he doesn't.
Yeah.
I reckon that'd be cool.
I hope they don't show Uncle Ben dying again. Like, it's the same as, like, Batman. Everybody knows how...
Yeah.
Well, they said they're not doing an origin
yeah.
story because of that, because of how many times we've seen it, so
Yeah.
hopefully they bypass
That
that.
should be good.
Or maybe they could even, like, rewrite it. Like, maybe Uncle Ben doesn't die. I don't know.
What?
It kind of on the point, yeah, he wouldn't have, like, the whole with great power comes with great responsibility thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can skip that. We don't need to see it again. We can just have Aunt May say something about, like, oh, it's your Uncle Ben's, like, anniversary of his death or whatever.
Yeah.
He's been gone for like 5 years or something. I don't know. Something like that would be cool. Because you said you wanted to see like a young... Because it is going to be a young Spider-Man, but not at the very beginning.
Yeah.
I'd kind of say maybe like a Spider-Man like a year or something in. And then we see that like it skips past Civil War and then shows us he's more seasoned and like weathered now. I don't know. That'd be cool. I think that now that Sony's working with Marvel, there's a lot of good stuff they can do.
Yeah, they could like explain... Like, they could mention his backstory in Civil War, and that would bypass the need for a backstory in the
exactly.
movie.
I also think as well, because Civil War's coming out first, having a section where we see him before Civil War might be redundant, because we don't know exactly what we're going to see of him in Civil War.
Yeah.
We might even get enough backstory there, like you just said, to bypass that
I
as
think
well.
that would be the best way to do it.
That probably would be the best way to do it. The thing I'm confused about with Civil War in general is that we've got Civil War coming out now, and then Spider-Man's movie is going to come out, which is his first new movie in the MCU. And like a year from now is when the Black Panther movie is meant to come out. Yeah. And he's going to be in Civil War. We know nothing about Black Panther in the MCU at the moment. So what's... Yeah. I don't know. I think that's going to be really weird. But
well, he's not like a super mainstream character, so...
Yeah, I think that's probably why they can get away with it, is that...
They're not as worried about getting him out. And his story probably won't like relate directly to Civil War, so...
Yeah... Probably. I think that probably makes sense. But I'm very keen to see more about like Black Panther, because I don't know much about Black Panther, so... Yeah.
I know a bit, but
that'd be cool.
Not tons.
Alright, so we're nearing the end here, so I think we'll just move on to this funny podcast ideas thing.
Okay.
So I was trying to find stuff to talk about, so I looked up podcast topics, and I found this thing, ideas for what to theme your podcast around. That's where the picture of Tilda Swinton is, so I'm going to read out some of them. It's because Matt doesn't know any of them except for one that I had told him before. Podcast Away. A podcast where I silently befriend a volleyball. That's the reference to Castaway with Tom Hanks.
That would be a boring podcast.
This is the one I did tell Matt about. Hoquest. A podcast where we visit each of the area codes in which Ludacris has hoes. Is that like in a song or something, I'm guessing, is one of the lyrics? I don't know. Podcasts. A podcast where you interview people in full body casts.
Oh.
Podcats. Where you interview everyone about their favourite cats.
I thought you were just going to interview cats.
A podcast called We Need to Talk About Kevin. That's the movie that Tilda Swinton was in. And that's why the picture was there. So a podcast...
Imagine like you had you podcasted your intervention. That'd be crazy.
Oh, so that's a podcast where the guests talk about... I don't know. The guests each week are a couple that breaks up after arguing about the movie We Need to Talk About Kevin. That's like our idea we had for couples therapy.
Yeah. We can still do that.
We may still do it at some point. Basically, Matt and I had an idea for a series where it'd be co-op games with two couples. It'd be co-op games with a couple, and the idea would be that they don't work very well together in the co-op game. And it'd be just hilarious.
Yeah, see if we can...
What did the idea initially come from? It was Jake and Elizabeth playing N++.
Yeah.
And they weren't very good together.
So annoyed at each other.
And I think most of it was deliberate. Yeah. Elizabeth was deliberately trying to annoy Jake, and even though it was like on purpose, it was still funny.
Yeah.
So I think it could work well. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll record it at some point, and if it's not good enough, then it won't happen. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Yeah. Okay. A podcast called I Wonder What That Was About. It's a podcast where I read the guests' random tweets off mic, and then all the listener can hear is their response to the tweets. I think that's a good idea. We might even do that at some point. I'll get a list of tweets and you can respond to them. Yeah. I was holding them up on my phone. You can read them. Reunited for the very first time. A reunion podcast where guests of all different podcasts who mentioned attending their high school or college reunion meet each other for the first time. Some of these are very in-depth and require a lot of effort. All of my very best vomits. A podcast where I discuss and analyse the ins and outs of every single time I've thrown up in my life.
We could talk about that.
We could.
We've had some good vomits.
Actually, okay, so when I was younger, there was one time I was staying at my nan's, who lives like further away from where we are now, and we went to like the local store, like the local like shopping centre, and there was a store there called Absolutely Everything, and I felt like ill, so we're like, oh, we'll get out of here soon then so you can get home or whatever, and then I threw up in the store and had to go off and get cleaned up, and like obviously they cleaned up my mess in the store, but then I can't remember who it was that made the joke. I think it was my brother. I think Jerry made the joke. He was like, now they do have absolutely everything in that store. I was like, that's the best ever. It's pretty good. I was
smart as a little kid.
Yeah?
Mainly this one time. Like one. Okay, so I have two stories quickly. I used to get super car sick, right? And we'd drive down to visit my nan, and she lives like 4 hours away, and you have to go up and down this mountain to get there. It's this windy road.
That sounds fun.
And like most of the time, I would get like super sick. And this one time, we were driving on there, and I felt sick. So I had like this plastic bag full of my toys. So I just quietly emptied them out slowly, and then just vomited in it, and was like, "Mom, I vomited in this bag." And then another time, we're in Queensland, visiting my sister for her wedding, and I was still pretty young at this point, and we were like actually on top of a hill, like staying on top of this mountain, and we had to drive down this windy path, and I just like vomited outside, like out the window. I didn't really say much. I was just like all down the side of the car, and my parents had to clean it off with a towel. It was so gross.
Nice.
I'm such a bad person.
Good old parents having to clean up their kids' vomits.
Yeah, I'm so not keen for that. But
yeah, the karma's gonna come around one day, and we have to deal with it. But oh well.
It'll be worth it though. I'm super keen to have chitlins.
We also have many stories we can talk about other people vomiting.
Yeah, I think
like Jake and Travis.
Soon we'll do a podcast of just like we'll tell stories from school and stuff.
Oh yeah, because we got plenty.
And we should tell them to Sarah so that we're not just telling them to each other, because it'll just be less awkward that way.
Like someone there that doesn't know all the stories. Well, Sarah knows most of our stories now. That wasn't even. I didn't even say though properly. I said no.
It's okay.
All right. Tell Me Pie, a weekly podcast where people discuss pie for 3.1415 minutes. I'll get to 15, and then maybe we'll save it. Your Fire, a podcast where I interview different fires of great historical significance.
What?
WWJ Don WTF, a podcast where many different people with various occupations theorise about how Jesus Christ would answer Mark Moran's questions on his WTF podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know who Mark Moran is. It's pretty cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. If These Walls Could Talk, a podcast where I interview all of the walls that Mark Wahlberg has punched, kicked, or thrown people through in movie trailers. Every time someone gets thrown into a wall, we play a honky horn sound and say they've been Wahlberged. Cakewalk, a podcast where my guest takes me on a tour of their neighbourhood while we discuss the long and frustrating, entangled history of every television show about cake, which includes Ace of Cakes, Wedding Cake Wars, Amazing Wedding Cakes, Cake Boss, Ultimate Cake Off, Cake Bake, Mace Loves Cake, Cake Cases, Cold Cake, Cakes, Monster Cakes, Cakes of the Supreme Court, Cakes, You're My Biggest Miss Cake, and Sex Cake.
The last two.
You're My Biggest Miss Cake.
You're My Biggest Miss Cake and Sex Cake.
I want to see Cakes of the Supreme Court.
What do people do in their spare time? What?
Okay. NP, Are You There, God? It's me, Margaret, a podcast where I ask NPR hosts to discuss their religious beliefs with me and then read excerpts of the Judy Blume novel, Are You There, God? It's me, Margaret.
Okay.
So far I've got Peter Sagal and the Maglia Lizzie brothers from Car Talk. Oh, and finally, any questions? A 4-hour-long weekly podcast. 4-hour long?
Stuff for that.
Where, along with my co-hosts, I answer the rhetorical questions from pop songs. Episode 1, how's it going to be? Does anyone care? Are you that somebody? Who let the dogs out? Spoiler alert. Okay, yes. No, it was Philip.
Alright.
I don't understand.
Sounds like a good time.
Speaking of really long podcasts, have you ever seen the Super Best Friends?
Yeah.
That we used to watch like for so long.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Super Best Friends, by the way.
Tell me about the show.
They do a podcast, and when they have topics, because we don't always get through our topics, obviously, because we like to keep it to about 45 to 50 minutes. When they have topics, they just do them all, no matter how long it takes. And one of their podcasts sometimes they last for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Every time they do it, they just sit there and talk for 3 hours. I was like, jeez, what about recording other stuff, guys?
Yeah.
It's insane. But anyway, speaking of 45 minutes podcast, that's the end of our podcast.
Thanks for listening, guys. My favourite comment you said.
I know that 45 minutes is a long time to listen to something, so I'm glad that you suffered it out.
Yeah, if you've got anything you'd like us to podcast about, talk about,
Feel
got
free
questions, anything.
to leave it.
If you've got any questions that need answering, answers that need questions, you let us know.
Answers that need questions. Can you give me the question to this answer?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Thanks for listening, lovelies, you beautiful people.
See you soon, guys.
Hey, boy.
Bye.